So we're at dinner last night. Went to a great restaurant. All of a sudden, it's just Seton and myself and McLovin. And McLovin he all of a sudden turns around and he goes, "Oh my God, is that the Bachelor?" And I thought, like, Bono walked in or something, Mick Jagger, and he's like, "That's the Bachelor." And I go, "What?" So Seton and I were going, "What are you talking about?" So he goes, the TV show, The Bachelor. And I go, I don't know who that is. So McLovin is nervous. He wants to go sit and find out if it's him. He then takes a selfie. So McLovin has his back to The Bachelor. And he's trying to take a selfie to send to his wife so she can acknowledge if that is Chris, The Bachelor. McLovin, would you sign off on all this before we bring in Chris?
Technically all true.
Okay. And then I tried to pump him up so he'd go sit next to Chris, and there was an empty seat. And I'm going, go up there. And then I said, all right, I'll go up there and say hello to him. And then what happened after that, Chris?
Well, I was actually going to walk by and casually come shake your hand and say hi to you, and then you stood up and said, "Hi, Chris." I'm like, how do you know who I am?
Yeah, because McLovin told me. I had no idea. So McLovin's like, oh my God, now I got my wife has got questions. I got to get a picture. And the picture that you took, McLovin, be honest, did you smile like that when you were married?
Oh, come on.
Did you smile like that when you were married?
I was excited because my wife is a huge Bachelorette fan.
That's what all the guys say.
So,
yeah, and I had him sign something to Andy, my cousin Andrea.
He's Chris Soules, the former Bachelor. And McLovin, you have questions that you'd like to talk to Chris about?
Can I get real here? So,
Yeah.
what happened with Whitney? That's what my wife wants to know.
He never gets that question, right?
This is the first time I've gotten that question.
Did you get engaged?
Well, we got engaged on the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
But is that engaged in real life?
I mean, technically, yeah. I mean, she had a ring and the whole 9 yards, and we tried to make it work and tried to figure things out in the real world. It's much different in the real world than it is on TV, in a dating show. So it's you kind of get an opportunity to, actually experience real life together. And
is there pressure to get engaged on the show?
Not specifically. I mean, they don't pressure you to do it. I think just the whole the whole experience itself lends itself to like making you feel like you want to go through with that, and of course at the end there's the final rose, and it's a really weird experience that's hard to explain unless you've been through it.
Would you do it again?
No.
You answered that pretty quickly.
Yeah, I would never do that again. I mean, I'm glad I did it. It was a great experience, but it's that chapter's passed in my life, and it's a lot of pressure. It's very intense. I mean, if you take it seriously and truly there to find someone, which I was, it's a lot of emotional ups and downs, and it's hard.
Because everybody says the same thing. Oh, you're around 30 women. I mean, come on, it can't be that tough. You got women in bikinis. You got alcohol. You got flying all over, doing all these great romantic things. Yeah. That doesn't sound like it's tough, though, Chris.
I'm not saying that part is, there's that part, which is enjoyable. And what you see on TV is enjoyable. But there's real emotions involved, and and it's intense. I mean, we're on 15 hours a day. You're at it, and you're really truly trying to find somebody, and so you're getting emotionally involved with multiple women and dating them at the same time. That takes a lot of it's. I'm not saying it's hard work, but it was emotionally it was very challenging.
Okay, is it easier to spot the good ones or the crazy ones?
Probably crazy.
Yeah,
crazy. I mean, it's
no names, but give me, like, when you saw crazy, what did crazy look like?
You need to watch the show, Dan. You're gonna have to watch the show.
I will, but you have to tell me. Just give me one episode, and then I'll watch that episode.
Watch the episode where I think it's probably week. Do you remember? I think it's week 3.
We talking about Ashley here? Is that what?
I wasn't gonna name names, but now that you said
we weren't naming names.
Oh no, I'm just from observing the show. I have no idea.
So Ashley was crazy.
I mean, she had some moments that
Did they
there was-
encourage craziness, or was she just crazy?
I think the whole entire situation can affect people in a way that brings out the crazy. I mean, I don't think they. Yeah, I mean, they definitely don't tell you not to act crazy. If you're gonna be crazy, they go ahead and be crazy. They love it, but they don't encourage it. They don't try to get you to be crazy. But just the whole entire situation kind of lends itself to, like, if you got a little crazy in you, it's gonna come out when you're in this, in this environment.
How much alcohol?
As much as you want.
So it's there.
It's there. I mean, they don't push it. I mean, they don't try to,
But if you need it, it's right there.
It's right there.
Did you drink for different reasons?
I did.
You did.
I did.
We'll take a break here. We're just diving into this. Yes, McLovin.
Wait, real quick, by the way, 70% of the women on the show are named Ashley, so that did not specify one woman at all.
Yeah. And are you allowed to talk about some of the stuff that went on?
I mean, I can talk about things. I mean, it's
because somebody said, you know what? Oh, you know who did that? Let me take a break here because McLovin's wife said, "Don't believe a word that Chris said last night to you." Is that right?
She said that he will be careful about the franchise secrets.
Is that true? Did you lie to us? Okay, I want you to hold that thought right there. I want to know if you lied to us last night about all those things you said, including a woman who kissed like a carp. We'll continue with Chris, the Bachelor. This is the Dan Patrick Show.
TV picture. Come hang with us.
Oh, I'm feeling my backhand.
Yeah, you are right now.
I can't switch.
You're really
Once I get a
confident
good
right
grip,
now.
a good grip.
Gutted it.
Yeah.
Another one in Milford, Connecticut, and it's above a bar. It's about a mile
Ooh.
from Dan's house, and we just gutted it. It used to be like an old dance.
That was right there,
Milford's
Andre.
Really neat because it's got like half all dance
Oh,
music.
oh my God.
Yeah, I know.
Like tons of stuff.
Two Midwestern
He
guys.
he had piles of stuff. He'd take out this pile, and all of a sudden there's like Wayne Gretzky signed skates sitting in a pile in a laundry basket at his house, or an Arnold Palmer putter. And it's like, oh yeah, I got this a long time ago.
By the way, just want to clear this. I admit I watched The Bachelor. I'm not the only Bachelor fan in the
That's true.
studio.
Yeah, that's true.
I just
I
need the
blame
only
my
one
wife
dumb
for
enough
I blame my wife for you.
on this show. Yeah, Paulie will like throw in comments like, "See what Lisa did last night?" Just like Lisa, in the pool.
Well, my wife gets mad because I stopped the show. I'm like, I'm telling you, I know he's a good guy, and I like Iowa, I like small towns, but these girls are not going to go back to a small town. It's flawed. It's flawed.
Yes.
And she's like, calm down, just hit play.
It's kind of like
have
watching
you watched?
it's like a bad
Fritzy
accent. You
is
just
a
kinda
big
gotta watch.
Unreal fan.
What's that?
He's a big fan of Unreal.
I heard about this.
Yeah.
You haven't seen it yet?
I haven't.
It's
Everybody
worth
tells
checking
me
out,
to watch
especially
it.
since you were a big part of things.
Yeah,
It's very
I need
interesting.
to watch that.
Good.
If even one small part of what
We
they're
got
showing
two
in
shots.
Unreal
Hopefully the
is
second
what
one
goes
looked good.
on.
I need to see it. It's
Depends
on
if the camera
Bravo?
was steady, which
Yeah, I
think
believe so.
So
It was just disturbing
Yeah.
how they make it sound like the producers are encouraging, all the, like you were talking about with the crazy and everything like that. That's what it's all about, behind the scenes and seeing the producers trying to get them to be in very awkward positions,
Yeah.
bringing up things from their childhood to make them cry and
Yeah,
stuff.
there's some stuff.
We're talking about the show Unreal, like what,
Oh, yeah, behind the
like a
scenes.
take of what would behind the scenes might look like on The Bachelor or The Bachelor.
Yeah, you gotta. I need to watch that.
Yeah, you would definitely appreciate it.
So McLovin, fanboy, and what happened last night was just pure magic. Actually, Seton was on Periscope, and we thought we would film this just because McLovin was so nervous about this. Seton, describe what happened.
It was amazing. So I was on Periscope, and we're just taping the pep talk of like Dan being like, "No, dude, like, yeah, just go say hello to him. Go say hello or whatever." And maybe 3 minutes into taping it, that's when you walked over, Chris, and Dan got
I
up.
was being taped.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Well,
I turned it off after that.
Yeah, we did. All the other stuff that was said, we turned
Sorry.
that on.
Should have mentioned that.
He's
too.
Chris Soules, the former Bachelor, who was joining us here in the Man Cave. All right, what, McLovin?
I got more Bachelor questions. I don't know how many. I know we got to get back to sports. One more.
Okay, I'll give
One
you.
more.
I'll give you one more.
Okay. What's the deal with Nick, who was a finalist in a previous season, getting back on this season's show to go after Caitlyn? And are you okay with that?
I don't know what to say about that. Nick is an interesting guy, and he really seems to enjoy being and wanting to continue to be on the Bachelor franchise. And I mean, I know that he was. I don't know. I don't understand. I know that they, instantly when she was sent off the show, I had heard that he was they were in contact. He connected with her on Facebook or whatever, and so they were before she became the Bachelorette. They were already like starting to develop a relationship. So now, if I was those guys, I would be very irritated to know that he was back on the show and that she made that decision to allow him to come back, which is, those guys you really do put yourself out there, and especially to the guys that are serious about, developing a relationship with her, to have that going on, it's kind of that's a tough pill to swallow if I'm those other contestants.
All right, I want you to be honest. McLovin's wife said, "Do not believe anything that you told us last night at dinner." Did you lie to us at dinner last night about anything?
There were no lies
Wow.
whatsoever.
Wow. Okay. Did you omit truths at all in there?
Omit. I don't. I think I was pretty straightforward with you.
It felt like that. McLovin was like a buzzkill when this morning I came in. He goes, "My wife said, don't believe anything. He's not allowed to tell you anything."
Well, is that true? Do they do you have any kind of signed paper on what you can and can't talk about when you're on it or afterward?
I mean, they definitely want you to be respectful of the franchise. I mean, I'm thankful for the opportunities that I got there, and but for the majority of the stuff that went on, it's there's not a lot that I can't really divulge.
Okay, who kissed like a carp?
I will leave her name out of that,
but
out of respect for her.
Okay. How deep into the show?
If you watch the show, I would let you guess. You got to guess, McLovin?
I'm going to turn my mic off here. I don't want to get anyone in trouble.
Probably
the odds
somebody
are
named Ashley.
It was probably an Ashley, but there were 9 of them on the season, so who knows?
Do you know who it was, McLovin?
Of course I know who it was. I watched the show, Dan.
Just give the initial.
I cannot do that.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Because she's had a rough enough road. That's all I'll say.
But okay, you're a farmer in Iowa.
Yeah.
You got a taste of fame here.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
It's tough to just say, "Hey, I'll just go back to Iowa and jump on the combine."
For me, it's not that hard because I really enjoy what I do back there. I mean, it's when I get back there, it's like, this is what I want to do. I'm trying to make the most out of the opportunities that now I'm having. It's like, it's fun to come to New York, but I'm always glad when I get back there and can get back to normal life. I mean, that's just me being honest. I don't live there. I don't live in Iowa because I want to live in Iowa. I live in Iowa because I love what I do there. And
do people show up at your door?
Yeah.
So women? I'm sure guys
yeah,
don't.
Yeah. Primarily women.
Okay,
yeah.
what happens when the women? Give me a story when the women show up at the farm, because your farm is not
right.
right. You land in Iowa and there's your farm. You got to travel to go.
You got to make some effort, serious effort. I'm 45 minutes I'm an hour and a half from an airport, and an hour from a city that's over 10,000 population. So you got to make an effort.
Okay, give me your favorite story of a woman showing up.
The most recent story, we were actually in the process of planting corn. I had to run home to update some things on my cell phone. I was sitting at my desk, and I've got a door near my desk that it has a window, so you can see through it, obviously. And I heard a knock, and I turned around, and there's this little boy standing at my door. He's probably 4 years old. And I'm like, what in the hell? And so I get up, and I open the door, and he says to me, "Can I ride your tractor?" I said, "I don't have any tractors." And he just proceeds to walk in my house. What's going on here? And I look up, and then there's 2 ladies sitting at the edge of my driveway that are getting out of their SUV to walk up and then come talk to me. So they walk up, and I was cordial and took pictures with them, and they drove clear from 2.5 hours away from the Quad Cities to come to my house and see me. As I'm sitting there talking to them, finishing up the conversation, trying to get them to leave, another SUV pulls in. I'm like, what? Who in the hell is that? And they're like, what? You have people come to your house that you don't know? I'm like, well, such as yourself, yeah, apparently. And so she proceeds to pull up right to my garage like she owned the place. And she waited for those other ladies to leave till she got out of her car. And when they left, I walked over and like, "Can I help you?" And she just came up to me and was like acted like I was her best friend, and we'd
Well, she knows you from TV.
right,
of course.
right. And she brought me some candied popcorn and candied pecans, and she said she'd been to my house 3 times and I wasn't
no.
there.
Oh, boy.
I mean, this is some crazy stuff. So I said, I've got to get going. I got to go back to work. And she's like, well, I really like to get to spend some more time with you. I drove all this way. I'm like, well, I'm sorry. I got things to do.
Did she look
You're
to see if
crazy.
you had roses planted out back that you could give her one? I mean, man.
Apparently, she'd been to my house enough to know where everything was, because she was very astute to where things were. And she's had actually visited my parents before. After I left,
Oh, boy.
she went and visited my grandma for an hour. Sat with my grandma for an hour. Went and bought her lunch. That's
you know what this
scary,
is, Chris?
crazy.
Field of Dreams. It's a different kind of Field of Dreams. And where's Field of Dreams? It's in Iowa, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm the field.
Yeah. I think it's FEEL. It's Field of Dreams. They get to show up and say hello to you. Can you write a book? Oh, no, wait. You were on a cooking show.
Yeah.
Okay, tell everybody who you were on the cooking show with.
I was just on Worst Cooks of America. I'll be on the Food Network in September with an interesting cast. Dean Cain,
Superman.
Superman. Barry Williams, Greg Brady. Jaleel White,
Urkel.
and Kendra Wilkinson.
Crazy. I mean, Playmate or whatever she is. Yeah.
And Jenny JWoww. JWoww. And I think I'm missing somebody else. Oh, Ellen she was on SNL like 10 years ago, back in the old days. She's the black lady from SNL. She was funny. I don't remember her last name.
Oh. So you're the only sane one in that group, aren't you?
Dean Cain is a really good guy.
Yeah.
And then actually Jaleel White is, they're relatively all good people. I think on TV some of them may come across as, but yeah, I had a lot of fun. Enjoyed meeting all of them.
And back to the farm today?
Yeah. Yep. Flight. I'm flying out at 5:00 and headed back to the farm where it's been raining steadily we've got 4 inches of rain in the last 2 days out there. So I've heard. So.
Well, you have some women there waiting for you. Sure, when you
Probably
show up.
have some surprises at my door. I literally come back and there'll be fan mail laying at my porch, and I get fan mail and emails. It's nonstop.
What's next though? Is this?
I'm trying to do some things with. I'm working with the National Pork Board right now to help promote some of the stuff that I am. Some of the agricultural things that I'm involved in, and just agriculture in general. They do a Pig Farm of the Year award that I'm going to be a judge and help find one of the better operations in the country to award them as a Pig Farm of the Year. That's the shirt that.
The T-shirt. I
Yeah,
have.
the shirt that I.
You need to be Mr. Bacon, maybe like the face of bacon. What do you think?
That's kind of where this is leading to a certain extent. That's primarily what I want to do going forward, is to try to stay involved in agriculture and help promote, because it's we've struggled for a long time to actually communicate to the consumer. We're good at talking to ourselves, and we understand what we all do as farmers, but we're as a whole pretty conservative and aren't very outspoken. So this is the first time where there's been any farmer that's had any fame of any relevance where he could speak to the larger demographic, the moms that buy the food, and there's a lot of misinformation out there and things that I'd like to help kind of get the message out of what we're doing.
Well, good luck with that. And I think maybe you just hold the package of bacon right in front of you, like the package in front of your package, and then you're the face
all
of
nude.
You're Mr. Bacon. There you go.
I think you're onto something.
Chris, it was great to meet you last night. Great sport. And McLovin is. Why are you blushing, McLovin?
Paulie wanted me to say a line there. I will not.
Oh, okay.
And by the way, we did get one detail of why it didn't work out with Whitney. I'm just saying.
Well, there really is not much to say. I mean, it was a relationship. She's a great person. She'll be a friend for the rest of my life, and I'll always care about her. It just didn't work out. I mean, it was two people that were mature and went into a weird situation, came out, tried to make it work. And
Did you get the ring back?
Yes.
You did.
By contract, we have to give the ring back to the
jeweler?
production company, to the jeweler, Neil.
But the next one you have to buy.
Next one I have to buy.
Yeah, when you get engaged for real.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing.
And don't do a rose. when you really get engaged.
You know what? If I never see a red rose again, it'll be too soon.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you
He's
for
Chris
having me.
Soules, The Bachelor.